Thank you, Mitesh. Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to take you through the evolution of equity alpha and explain to you why there are too many active equity managers in the world right now. So back in the 60s and 70s, an active equity manager's return was considered to be down to their skill. There were one or two benchmarks around, such as the Dow Jones in the US, but they didn't really represent the full opportunity set available to a fund manager, and you couldn't easily access them. That changed in 1975 when Vanguard launched the first index fund. Suddenly you could buy the largest 500 shares in the US. And around the same time, the capital asset pricing model moved from academia into more widespread use, and the concept of beta, the market return, and alpha, the returns in excess of that, started to come into common parlance. In 1993, Ken French and Eugene Fama wrote their seminal three-factor model paper and discovered that there were two forces that drove excess returns in equity markets. One was value and the other was size. Cheap stocks outperform expensive stocks and small stocks outperform large stocks. So suddenly, some of those excess returns that fund managers generated were beginning to be explained. A few years later, momentum was added as a fourth factor by someone else, and this is the concept that stocks that are already increasing continue to do so, and vice versa. And then about 10 years ago, the low volatility anomaly was discovered, and this is the surprising fact that actually low vol stocks outperform high vol stocks. Risk doesn't necessarily equal reward. And so with each of these discoveries, what we thought was fund manager alpha actually turns out to be some form of beta. So where are we today? Well, in our view, the definition of alpha has changed. It should really be the return after the market and a style factor. And we see really four groups of managers that investors should focus on as a result. First, you have passive. Now, that gives you the market return, such as the FTSE 100 or S&P 500. Then you have smart beta, which gives you those exposure to those style factors like value, momentum, low volatility, but in a basic fashion. Then you have quantitative managers who give you the exposure to the market. They give you exposure to the style factors, but they do so in a more sophisticated way. They're using proprietary factors, they blend them, they time them, and that allows them to outperform the smart beta construct. And that's why we're referring to it as actually smart alpha. And then finally, the fourth group that you should focus on are style-focused fundamental managers. Now, they give you a forward-looking qualitative view that the systematic strategies can't. This we think of as a true alpha because it can't be systematized, or at least hasn't yet been systematized. Now, most active equity managers don't fit into that construct. Most of them are still in these sort of old regimes. And in fact, charging the type of fees at the top of our sort of pyramid here, but actually delivering you the type of strategy that you can now access far more cheaply. So in our view, true alpha is out there. It is worth paying for, but it's rare. So what are the implications here? Well, one, in our view, there are too many active equity managers charging too high fees, and many will become extinct, like our friend the polar bear may well do. Two, in future, there will be fewer, more distinctive managers. And three, you don't need as many equity managers as you probably have at the moment, or indeed as many researchers to go and find them. That we see as an inconvenient truth for the fund management industry and perhaps other consultants as well. Thank you very much.
Nicely done. Thank you very much.